Arundel County House delegation meeting. Today is April 1st. That's for real. And so with that, we will go ahead and get started with the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer, which will be offered by Delegate Pina Melnick.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, colleagues. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us bow our head. God, as we gather here in this place, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for allowing us to gather here to share ideas and inspirations from one another. Thank you for letting us to the wisdom to serve our communities faithfully. Please, Lord, bring peace back to our world. Please, Lord, keep us strong. In your name we ask, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Delegate Pina Melnick, for leading us in the pledge and the prayer. And so with that, this is where we typically announce any visitors or guests that we have. I see we have Pete Barron from the County Executive's Office, and that's about it. Obviously, I want to take the opportunity to announce our senators, Senator Vital, Senator Elfreth, Senator Simoneer, Senator Rosapep, and Senator Riley. Should they join us later, we always want to acknowledge them. And so with that, we're going to go right into the first thing on the agenda, which is our voting session. The first bill we'll be voting on is House Bill Senate Bill 510, Anne Arundel County Board of Education member compensation. Matt, could you please tell us about the bill?
Morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this bill increases the amounts of compensation for the Anne Arundel County Education Board members by $10,000. Each member will receive, the president of the county board will receive $10,000 or $17,000. Jesus, my apologies. $20,000. The vice president, $19,000. The other board members, $18,000. As amended and adopted in the subcommittee, this increases the compensation by $7,000. The president, $17,000. The vice president, $16,000. The other board members, $15,000, and the student scholarship, $15,000.
Okay, and does that also cover the amendment?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. The next thing I have is I want to ask Delegate Jones to briefly cover the subcommittee, what happened in subcommittee yesterday.
Thank you, Chairman. Yesterday, subcommittee met at 9:30 prior to our first floor session. We had discussion and voting on two amendments. The first, one of the amendments for SB 510 was in fact 326219/1. The maker of the amendment was Delegate Saab. That was moved unfavorable. And the next amendment we looked at was on SB 510 was 3527/1. The maker of the amendment was Delegate Bartlett. That did in fact pass. That amendment was just covered in Mr. Carpenter's report, and those were the only two amendments that we did receive in Education Subcommittee, and then we moved the bill out of subcommittee. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So with that, I see a couple questions. Delegate Howard.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Chair. Just real quick. So when they're the board members elected president, they're making, $20,000, and then when they're done with their president of the board, they're back down to whatever, $17,000, $18,000. Is that correct?
Matt?
Just to clarify, the difference between the president's salary and the vice president's salary, is that the question?
No, it's just, while they're sitting as president and vice president, they're making that higher salary. And then as they're back to being a regular board member, they're back down to the regular board member salary. So just making sure that's clear.
Yes, that is established in the bill.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Delegate Carey?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt, just wanted to make sure this doesn't take effect until December 2nd, 2024, after the next election. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It starts at the next term for the board member.
Okay, thank you.
Delegate Saab?
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to see if I can offer my amendment, or you want to vote the amendment out first before?
We're gonna vote the amendment out.
Okay.
Delegate Jones?
I was going to move the bill favorable, sir. Apologies.
Nope. Okay, is there a motion on the amendment?
Move the amendment.
Second.
All right, Sienna, please take the roll.
This vote is on Amendment 383527-01 for Senate Bill 510. Vice Chair Bagnall,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Payne Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 15-0 and the motion passes.
Is there a motion to move the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
Amendment.
Mr. Chairman,
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Delegate Saab?
before we move the bill, I wanted to see, is this the appropriate time to offer my amendment?
Sure.
Thank you. So I appreciate Delegate Bartlett's amendment. I think it lowered the raise from 100% to 70% and 60%. But what this amendment does, it actually still provide the same raise, but it divides it over 4-year term. So for the first year, the increase will be 25% of the 7,000, which is 11,750, and it goes to 13,500. And in and then the third year to go to 15,250 until it reaches the full 17 at the last in the fourth year, and then it remains the same thereafter. The reason for this amendment, I appreciate what our Board of Education members have been doing or do. I also wanted to point out that I'm not sure if many of you know that on top of what their compensation that they get now, they also get $325 monthly, no receipts required. And for that reason, I feel it's important when we're only giving our teachers and police and firefighters and everybody else maybe a 3 to 5% increase. I think giving anybody, whether it's elected body or elect or none, a 70% increase is at one time is just not right. So for that reason, I'm offering this amendment, and I ask for a favorable vote on this amendment.
Is there a motion on Delegate Saab's amendment?
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
I made the motion for the amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Do you want,
Delegate Bartlett?
we do have a motion, and I don't know what you want to do with the motion that's already floating out there.
So we're gonna vote this amendment, and then we're gonna vote the bill as amended.
So
Because
the
this
maker of the
amendment was
motion,
offered.
the maker
this
of the motion
amendment
is
was
going to withdraw the motion? Because
Yes.
we have, see, what we have on the floor currently is a motion to, a motion on the bill as amended, and it was seconded. So are you asking the maker of the motion to withdraw their motion so that we could now entertain the motion for the amendment?
We can do, with the maker of the motion, do you choose to withdraw your motion to move the bill as amended so that we can vote this amendment?
We all spoke at the same time. So who are you speaking to, sir?
I believe Delegate Jones, you moved the bill as amended.
I did, and I would like to move the bill as amended.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think it was seconded when she moved it.
It was seconded.
It was properly seconded.
But I also, before she moved, I asked to provide my amendment at the appropriate time.
No, actually not, but. okay.
Yes, I did. I asked when the questions were asked, I asked if I can ask for my amendment at the appropriate time, and Mr. Chairman told me that after the questions. And then Delegate Jones jumped the gun and moved the bill.
So I'm counsel?
It was incredibly hard for me to hear as it all came through at once. I would have to defer to the chair in this situation. Do you have the authority to make a decision here?
Okay, so in this particular instance, what I'm going to do is ask the body to vote on the amendment first, just so that it's very clean and there are no questions down the road. And then we will vote on the bill as amended, which was the original bill. So with that, we're going to vote. I'm going to ask for a motion on Delegate Saab's bill.
Mr. Chair, we do have some questions, I believe, on the
I'm going to
amendment.
come back to those questions. I really want to move on this. Is there a motion?
Motion to move the bill. I mean, motion to move the amendment, which is
Mr.
Cobb's amendment.
Second. Mr. Chair, I have a relevant question to this amendment.
Delegate Lehman.
Yeah, I have a relevant question. Well, first of all, one point is you cannot move another motion with a motion and a second on the floor unless your decision is that you did not hear the motion in the second. It has to be withdrawn. You cannot entertain another motion under Robert's rules with a motion and a second already on the floor, first of all. But secondly, I was under the impression that we voted down an amendment to phase in the increase in subcommittee. Are we reconsidering? Did that vote not count? Is this a different amendment somehow?
This is a different amendment. It is my understanding that this is a different amendment that was sent out last night. And so with respect to your earlier question, I sought counsel's advice because it did kind of come in at the same time. Yeah, I'm making the decision to vote this amendment, and then we're going to vote the bill as amended. I don't know that it will change anything.
Okay.
So, all right. So
we're going to vote no.
Okay. So it's been moved and properly seconded on the amendment. Sienna, take the roll.
Is the amendment favorable or unfavorable?
The amendment by Delegate Saab was moved favorable by Delegate Chisholm and seconded by Delegate Kipke.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, one more point of order. We just voted to amend the bill. I just want to make sure we understand that. We voted an amendment to the bill. So I do not understand what we are voting on now.
What we are voting on now.
Which amendment? Let's just say, for instance, if this amendment passes, what are we going to do with two amendments floating out there? That's what I don't understand.
So it takes 8 votes for the amendment to pass. The amendment is on the floor. It's been moved and properly seconded. We're going to vote the amendment, and then we're going to vote the bill as amended. So
I guess what I'm saying, Mr. Chair, is we voted out an amendment that passed. That amendment was 383527. We just did that. It was unanimous. So now I'm asking a second amendment on the bill, I don't understand which amendment. How do you handle, maybe this is a Matt question. If we've already voted on an amendment, how do we vote on a second amendment? We just voted it out unanimously.
We can vote multiple amendments on the same bill. This is a separate amendment.
Matt, I really need to understand
Matt,
this
could
because
you
this doesn't make
please
sense to me.
clarify the second amendment, what it is, and that is different from the amendment that was voted yesterday, so that we can vote up or down this amendment?
Yes, so this is a different amendment than what was offered yesterday. Yesterday, the increase was over 4 years, but it was in total the $10,000 amount. This is a 4-year increase of $7,000 over 4 years, so different amendments. If this amendment were to be adopted, it would take place of the amendment that was adopted previously.
Move the previous question.
Second.
All right. So on Delegate Saab's amendment, Sienna, please take the roll.
For Senate Bill 510, the amendment number is 976611-01. Vice Chair Bagnell,
No.
Delegate Barnes,
No.
Delegate Bartlett,
No.
Delegate Carey,
No.
Delegate Chang,
No.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
No.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
No.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Absolutely no.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Pena Melnick,
No.
Delegate Saab,
Absolutely, 100% yes. And normally we don't do that. This is just a response to Delegate Lehman's vote. I also want to point out,
Delegate Saab.
No, Delegate Saab.
I also
Sienna,
want to
please
point out
continue.
that it's ironic
Delegate
that
Saab,
none of you actually
Delegate
have
Saab,
read the
you're out of
amendment
order.
and knew what you're voting on.
Okay, please continue to take the roll, Sienna.
Chairman Rogers,
No. All right, so now is there a motion to move the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
Second.
Second.
Sienna, please take the roll.
Senate Bill 510 as amended 383527-1. Vice Chair Bagnell,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Pena Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
No, and to explain my vote, I was out of order before. I don't think normally, to Layman's point, we say absolutely and not absolutely. And it is ironic to me that some members of the delegation didn't even read the amendment and just wanted to vote no on the amendment. So again, I reiterate that when we don't give our teachers and firefighters and police a 50% or a 25% increase, we're giving our Board of Education 70% increase. So my vote is no. And this is not disrespect to any of the board members or the work they do, but I just think it's wrong.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 14-1 and the motion passes.
All right, thank you, Sienna. The next bill that we will be voting on is Senate Bill 310, Anne Arundel County and City of Annapolis, Small Minority and Women-Owned Businesses Account Local State of Emergency as amended. Matt, please tell us what the bill does.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill expands the eligible uses of the Small Minority and Women-Owned Business Account to include grants to businesses and nonprofit organizations in Anne Arundel County and the City of Annapolis when in a local state of emergency as declared by the Principal Executive Officer of Anne Arundel County, and also establishes a work group to establish a state disaster relief fund, and that is staffed by the Department of Emergency Management.
Is there a motion on Bill SB 310?
Move the bill.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Sienna, please take the roll. It's been moved and properly seconded.
This is on Senate Bill 310 as amended, 103327-1.
Oh, correction, I'm sorry, Sienna. I think we may need to move the amendment, and then move the bill as amended. So this is on the amendment.
Move the amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Sienna, please take the roll on the amendment.
Amendment 103327-1 on Senate Bill 310. Vice Chair Bagnell,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Payne Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 15-0 and the motion passes.
Is there a motion to move the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended.
Second,
Second.
Sienna, please take the roll.
Senate Bill 310 as amended, 103327-1. Vice Chair Bagnell,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Payne Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
Yes.
Delegate Rogers. Chairman,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 14-0 and the motion passes.
Okay. All right. So next we have on the calendar Senate Bill 499, Arundel County Alcohol Beverages Board of License Commissioners, term limits and commercial bingo license. Matt, you want to tell us what the bill does?
This bill establishes term limits for Anne Arundel County Board of License Commissioners. They may not serve more than 4 consecutive terms. This bill also establishes a commercial bingo license in Anne Arundel County and authorizes the board to issue licenses to sell alcoholic beverages.
Okay. Delegate Carey, did you want to add anything from the subcommittee before I ask if there's a motion?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to let the delegation know that the subcommittee met a few days ago and we voted this bill out with the amendment unanimously.
All right. So with that report, is there a motion on the bill?
So
Move the
moved.
amendment. Second.
Is there? Oh, well, let's do the amendment first. And I believe Delegate Carey moved the amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Sienna, please take the roll.
On Amendment 713-225-01 to Senate Bill 499. Vice Chair Bagnell,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Payne Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 15-0 and the motion passes.
Move the bill as amended.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and properly seconded to move the bill as amended. Sienna, please take the roll.
On Senate Bill 499, as amended, 73225-01. Vice Chair Bagnell,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett,
Yes.
Delegate Carey,
Yes.
Delegate Chang,
Yes.
Delegate Chisholm,
Yes.
Delegate Henson,
Yes.
Delegate Howard,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Kipke,
Yes.
Delegate Lehman,
Yes.
Delegate Munoz,
Yes.
Delegate Pena Melnick,
Yes.
Delegate Saab,
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 14-0 and the motion passes.
Wonderful.
Of 50.
All right, so there is nothing else on the agenda this morning. I think I may have
Chairman?
saw a question or a hand raised. Are there any questions? Delegate Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Could we make sure that we send a letter to the to the ECM? We heard that bill yesterday in committee,
Yes.
and they're looking for a letter.
Absolutely. And I spoke to Chairman Wilson yesterday just to let him know that we would get that up there to him today,
This morning.
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Yes.
All right, seeing no other questions, I just want to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the delegation for all of your hard work this session. We're not scheduled to have a meeting next Friday, so this should be the last delegation meeting pending some unforeseen occurrence. I also want to take this opportunity to thank, all the staff members, particularly Delegate Bagnall, Caroline on her staff, and Nicole on mine. We couldn't do any of this without Sienna Scott. And Sienna, I just want to thank you so very much for all that you've done, not only during my time, but for all the time that you've been here. For those that aren't aware, this is Sienna's last session, but we have some other things planned for Sienna to be talked about later. I also want to thank Matt Carpenter, who has probably been busier this session than any session since he's been with us. And so, I think we're gonna have to name a bill or something after Matt because of all the work that and input that he's had into, our legislative efforts this particular session. And so stay tuned for some emails and announcements regarding sine die activities. I know the staff typically plans something, but I didn't want to speak on it right now. So you should see some emails coming up about, all the wonderful things that Anne Arundel County typically does or historically has done in preparation for sine die. So anticipate some emails on that. And I just, again, want to say thank you to everyone for everyone's hard work this semester. I mean, I'm saying this semester like we're in school, this legislative session. And with that, we'll end and we'll see everybody on the floor.
I have a comment. May I?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Delegate Pena Melnick.
Okay. I know usually I don't raise my hand. I wanted to just say thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your work and your leadership. We have done in a very humble way, very good work for Anne Arundel County, all of us together. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. And I certainly, special thanks to our colleagues from Legislative District 21. Most folks know, but for all those listening, they have to do double work. Not only do they spend their time with us, but they also have to run over and represent Prince George's County at their delegation meetings. And we couldn't do what we do without their support, and especially Delegate Barnes, who hates to get up early, for him being here this morning. I know it's kind of rough on him. So with that, and I'm going through one more time, I don't see any other hands. And I would be remiss if I didn't give kudos and a special shout out to my vice chair, who has kept me straight all legislative session long. She's always been there. She's always been someone that I could talk to about various issues going on. And so thank you very much, Vice Chair Bagnall. And with that, I thought I saw Pete Barron's hand up. All right, you guys know I'm on the clock. I like to do this in less than an hour. I was trying to get it under 30 minutes. So seeing all the questions.
I was just expressing my thanks to Sienna Scott. We're going to miss her.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, see you on the floor. Have a great day.
Motion to adjourn.